What's going on, Dog Man here? Just a little update, quick update. Things are still a little hectic here now after Irma has more or less gotten out of our neighborhood, if you will, out of the area. Um, and dealing still with a lot of gusts and winds. There's some pretty massive devastation all across Florida in general. We've got a lot of flooding down here. Not right where I'm at specifically inside the neighborhood I'm at, but it is all around. Um, we went now. We just got power back a little while ago. We went almost 16 hours without power, which is actually compared to the storm that we had last year, the hurricane that we had last year. We went a little over 2 days. That's actually pretty damn good that we only went about 16 hours. They did make some upgrades to the systems last year, so that kind of helped us out. But at the peak of it, so far from what I could tell, is almost 275,000 or 275,000 people without power here in my area. Um, so we got power back. If you were following me on Twitter, you'll know that early Sunday we located a water issue where water was coming into our house, and it was coming in through our living room window. Tried to protect it as best as we could, but so we do have some water damage from that window. I'm going to have to try to figure that out tomorrow on Tuesday. Then I've got took a little while after getting power up to get the damn AC to click on. The compressor didn't want to come in, so I had to finagle around with that a little bit, but now it looks like we got the AC working. Time will tell when it does its on-off cycle next, but for now, at least it's starting to cool down our house again. We did do some smart moves in terms of Sunday. I started to slowly decrease the AC. We normally run our house at about 76 to 77 degrees throughout the year in general, and so what we did was we ended up taking it down about 4 degrees, so it was about 72, 73 when we lost power, and that was actually really good. So we made it overnight, and pretty much most of the day, as it was a cooler day here today, only in the mid 70s, with the house not getting over 80 degrees, which is, thank God, with 5 people in the house, especially the 3 children, and they get anxious and rambunctious pretty quick. So by lowering the AC down, we managed to keep the house cooler throughout the day, which was good. Otherwise, worst case tonight, we would have been suffering with the heat, which is, a good thing that we're not. In terms of other things going on, like I said, I haven't gotten in touch with everybody that I know yet in the area. My mother-in-law, she's here in the same area with us. Well, she's here in northeast Florida with us, probably normally about 20 minutes away from us, and she's without power right now. But I anticipate she'll probably have power back sometime tonight or early in the morning because she's in an area that has a lot of people on a singular outage location, if you will. So they're definitely going to attempt to get to that first. Generally, what they do around here is they go for the biggest amount of people they can turn back on quickly. So large groups can get turned on real quick. Those are the places that they're heading for first. When you're talking about people that live in the outlying areas, that live in a house all the way out by themselves, there's only 2 or 3 neighbors, they're going to be going a good week or so before they see power. And that's typical per most storms. Some people are actually cut off, can't even get to people right now. The flooding is just worse than it's ever been in history, more or less, around here. Now, like I said, my mother-in-law, we've been in touch with her. I've been in touch with my own mother, who's in Central Florida, and right now she's still without power. She's okay. It was pretty rough down there in Central Florida. They got walloped really, really badly. Slightly worse than what we did, even though it was a pretty scary night for us in terms of the hurricane. I haven't really assessed too much damage outside yet. Like I said, I only know about my window. I also know that my fridge itself is now not working again about a year after getting another fridge. So, yeah. So, our year old fridge is now not working. It's on, the fan is on, the compressor is not. So I'm going to give that a little bit longer and see if we can't figure out how to get that compressor to come up, or if it just takes a little bit while for this compressor to come back on, whatever. If not, then when I'm fixing the window, probably tomorrow, I will be looking for another fridge. So yeah, not something that we really anticipated. All in all, we still have some wind, still a lot of wind gusts going on and stuff like that. I said my mother, she's down in Central Florida. They're looking at approximately 7 to 10 days before everybody down there will be able to get power back. I mean, there's severe flooding down there. This storm was just, yeah, it's just horrible in terms of 65% of the state does not have power. 65% of Florida does not have power at this point, along with all the total flooding and everything else that happened. So, anyway, normalcy hopefully soon. AC working. Just got to do some fixes. To do some assessments tomorrow around the neighborhood. I know I've seen some trees down. I know we had a lot of tree damage. We had a lot of one of my neighbor's trees was kind of falling apart, so we'll probably have to try to get up in there and maybe try to chop down some of those branches and whatnot that are left. But really, a lot of the banging and loud noises we had last night. Luckily, none of the windows broke. With a lot of leaves with crab apples on them, those types of things, went flying around the area. So there was a lot of debris like that flying around. But all in all, it looks like we're okay in that regard. So hopefully, I can get in touch with everybody else around here that I know, all the other community members and friends and people that were here in Florida, that roughed through it as well, especially a few people down there in Miami area that I know. Um, I don't even want to talk about the Keys right now. It's just total devastation of the Keys. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on things going on. We're going to try to settle in here a little bit, relax. We finally have TV and such back. Luckily, because I have a lot of backup systems with a lot of batteries on them, I was actually able to keep our TV and network and stuff running for a good 3+ hours after we lost power last night, middle of the night. And it was the best time to have that happen because that was when it was the worst of the storm, and we had a lot of tornadoes and winds going over 70 miles an hour, and when you had to go and take cover into special rooms and stuff. So while my family was upstairs trying to sleep, I was trying to stay awake watching the TV, making sure that if something like that was going to be severe enough where I had to get everybody out and move them, I was able to. So now we're just letting everything recharge and get back up on to speed again. So we'll see. It's going to be definitely a while before everything's back in order. I know my kids don't go back to school until at least Wednesday. That may be even longer. We'll see. So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in on my little update here, guys. And stay tuned. Once I can get back online with things and whatnot, we'll get back to the regular scheduled program of stuff, if you will. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in.